Fired Up Trucker here. Fired Up Trucker here. Hey, Fired Up Trucker friends. I'm back. Ran out of memory yesterday, of course, so this is part 2 of Fired Up Trucker. What are you up to? What have you been doing? So where I left off yesterday was, I was basically saying, look, I spoke with Knight yesterday, and they're going to get me another trainer. And, you know, if I'm happy after 6 months, after, let's get through the training. Say I get through the training 4 weeks, and then test out, get my own truck, and go out on the road and do what I was hired to do. And if I'm loving it, great. If I'm happy with it and everything's good, then no problems. But after 6 months, I've already got options. After a year, you've got options. But, I've got 2 smaller companies that are regional to local, Monday through Friday, off weekends, that are already interested in me, that, are smaller companies. So if that's what I decide to do, then those options are there. What I want to talk about just a little bit today, and I really don't want to rant, but the main thing I want to say is, look, I learned a lot in this whole process, from the application process and, talking to recruiters and orientation and going to the company school and training and doing all this stuff. You put your heart and soul into it. So when you get to the point where you're going out on the road with a trainer, you're there to get their information, and they're supposed to be there to train you, to give you all the information, to make sure that when you get done after 4 to 6 weeks, you can be safe on the road. You're not going to injure yourself, anybody else, or the loads, or the company's equipment, whatever. And but the real training comes afterwards, right? I mean, that's what they say. That first year, 6 months, first year. But here's the thing. When you're going through the training, you're the trainee. The trainer is the trainer. They're not your boss. They're not the person signing the checks. Now, they are evaluating you, but that's just part of their job. And trainers, not in any way, shape, or form, should become frustrated with you for, how long it takes you to catch on, or, whatever. If you're having problems with shifting, if you're having problems with backing, or whatever, they shouldn't show frustration. That's not what they're there for. They're there to teach. If they just can't teach you the right way, if they can't teach you so you get it, then they need to say, you know what, I can't teach you. And then they need to go, they don't need to come down on you. They need to go to safety or whoever and say, hey, I think that maybe another trainer for this person would be great. They just don't seem to be getting it the way I'm treating them. But if they're talking down to you and acting upset with you and raising their voices to you, that's not right. They're a trainer. Trainers don't do that to trainees. You're not there to go through freaking Hell Week like a Navy SEAL or something for a month. That's not what you're there for. And you don't have to be buddy-buddy. You don't have to be friends, whatever, but hopefully it's a good enough relationship to where you're getting along and you're learning and they're teaching and they're happy and you're happy. That's great. I'm not saying you need to be patted on the back, that I needed to be patted on the back, but they should be able to be enough of a people person to, communicate the good things that are going on as well as the things that are needing work. But at no point, if you just do something absolutely stupid and wreck the truck or something, yeah, they might get upset or mad right then. But during the normal process, there shouldn't be anything like that going on. And that's a part of the company training the trainers. Just because a person or a driver has multiple years and maybe lots of years experience in the business driving, you don't just hand them an evaluation sheet and give them a trainee. You train them on how to train the trainee. And you teach them that they are there to train. They're not there to be a boss. They don't sign my check. I'll tell you right now, that is a plain, simple fact. The trainer does not sign your check. And unless it's the owner of the company, maybe you're a small company, maybe you're working for a small company, and the trainer is your boss. But otherwise, if you're in a big company like me, the trainer is just another driver, and that driver has shown that they wanted to transfer that information to people and work with people and help them become safe drivers, not to become frustrated at all. They know that the skills sometimes take a while. Shifting probably comes a little bit faster than backing because you get more opportunities. You're shifting all the time when you're driving, right? Backing, when you're only getting a couple opportunities a week, as far as maybe at the shippers and receivers, you should have a trainer that if you're sitting in the truck stop for a half a day or 24 hours or a day and a half, that should have you out there in that truck stop once it clears out a little bit. Not saying you can't do it when it's busy, but when it clears out so you're not in everybody's way and that's not making you nervous, whatever. You get nervous when you're out on your own. But when you're training, you're there to learn the skill. You're not there to get nervous and worry about 5 or 6 trucks backing up in a row. But when you have that downtime, it should be just common knowledge that trainer is going to say, hey, let's go do some backing. Let's go practice. Let's get you in some tight holes, whatever. And that's it. Look, I learned a lot in the 10 days that I was out. I mean, there's so many different aspects of driving and being out on the road. Doing your scales, doing your tandems, getting your weight right, weighing the truck, fueling, doing your pre-trips, learning your electronic logs, all that stuff. I mean, I learned a ton. I mean, I could literally go to a shipper, pick up a load, deal with the people there, drive, fuel up at my fuel stop, go to the receiver. I could do it all, but it's just the skills that need work, the backing, and that takes time. If you're with a trainer that's getting, and this wasn't the excuse me, this wasn't the case for me. My trainer was an excellent trainer on the backing. I just didn't get the opportunities. I think in 10 days of driving, I had two backing deals there, but we had plenty of sitting time and waiting time where I could have been getting a lot of practice in, and we didn't do it. So that's something that should have happened. Anyway, I'm not going to get on a rant. I'm just going to say life is too short not to be happy. Make sure you're happy. Get the experience you need to get so that if you do want to, if you're new, get the experience. I mean, if you've been around for 2 or 3 years and you're not happy, don't stay unhappy. What are you doing? Get on Craigslist. Go find another opportunity. Get on in the little Indeed app on your smartphone. It's called Indeed, I believe. INDEED. Look for jobs there and just start talking to people and putting it out there. I put a personal ad kind of telling my story of what happened, so as far as being a new CDL owner and going through training and stuff. And I've had people calling me, small companies and medium-sized companies. But as soon as they find out, the amount of time, then they're like, hey, we'd love to talk to you, but we got to have at least 6 months. So get out there and figure it out, but get happy. I mean, gosh, don't be unhappy. You're already spending time away from your family. It's tough. I mean, I was only out there 10 days. It doesn't take long. And I'm just being real and transparent, okay? I mean, if you're brand new, you're thinking about going into trucking and you're watching this, look, you need to be real. I mean, there's a certain lifestyle it takes to live out on the road of a trucker. I mean, the money's great, right? I mean, if you're running and you're making good money and they're keeping you moving and you're with a company that's paying decent, blah, 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 blah. But there's a certain lifestyle, okay? And you've got to adapt to that, and you've got to enjoy it and like it and get into a routine. And that's all I've got to say. Be happy. Don't be unhappy. And if you don't feel like the training thing isn't happening for you with your trainer, just ask for a new trainer. You don't have to talk to the trainer about it. You talk to the people who get the trainer for you and tell them, I think I need a new trainer, and that's what you need to do. Don't be afraid to do that. It's your education, okay? You're the one that's putting your life on the line, being out there hauling, 53-foot trailers around for a company. So anyway, guys, I'm going to cut this short before the video cuts it short. Stay fired up, stay focused, stay free. Make sure you get down below. Give me some comments. Come over to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Come over to Fired Up Friends. Fired Up Truckers on Facebook. Join the group, and we'll see you on the next video. Fired up.